What is up, Genshin F2Ps and Swipeys? It's your boy Josh, and today I'm going to become your new Genshin BFF to help you guys enter into the new region of Natlan in Genshin 5.0. And of course, there are topics like what the 5.0 content actually is, as well as the changes of 5.0 that you guys are going to experience moving from this older patch to the new. But today I actually wanted to talk about how you can prep or prepare your account for a new regional patch. Make sure to like and subscribe so I know that you guys want more of this type of content and so that we can both game together in the new patch of Genshin Impact. The topic that I wanted to discuss with you guys, getting ready or prepping for Natlan. So there's a lot of ways in which you can kind of go about it. And especially when it comes to either, veterans, that might look different. When it comes to beginners slash, people who are coming back from a long extended period, that might look different. But let's kind of start discussing what are some of the best ways to help prep you guys for a new region. And in particular, let's say, Fontaine was the latest region that you jumped into. What does it look like to get released a whole new region? As a veteran player, one of the best ways that I prep myself for pretty much every region so far is that I keep up my farming almost at 110%. Like, we can meme on how I don't do dailies, but like I've been doing my dailies, I've been farming and doing some extra farming in Genshin to get all the resources that I need. Now let's talk about what those resources are. One of the resources that I in particularly love, pre-regional patch, is artifacts. Why? Because artifacts can convert into strongbox artifacts, right? Or they can be utilized to level up more artifacts down the road as fodder, right? The 4 stars and 3 stars, they could be used as fodder. In that way, now that you have a pool of artifacts, a lot of account reviews that we've done in the past have been, a lot of the fallout comes from not having enough artifact resources. They literally have boxes with less than 100 artifacts, and that is not conducive to a very healthy box and account. As so far in as like, why would you farm the sets before the new patch, right? And I think that's a very, very, important conversation because that just doesn't make any sense, right? You should save all your resources for that. I'm not saying to use your fragile resin, but I'm asking you guys that if you can keep maxing out your 200, resin, make sure that you are daily using 200 resin, and let's show you guys what it looks like, right? Let's show you guys what it looks like. So my box is not the best box, but this is a pretty good situation to be in. Now I'm at 1724 out of 1800, but look how many golds I have. Gold. Like 70% of it is gold. And very soon I'm going to eat all of these up and then they're going to turn into gold as well. So look at all these golds that I have as fodder for strong boxing. And then that subsequently gets me just more rolls into newer artifacts, right? So the more artifacts you go through, statistically, you're just going to get the ones that you need. It's a matter of when you get them, you just have them for life. Make sure that you're prepping yourself in particular for those 8 new artifacts, right? Now, I don't know if the new artifact sets are going to be good. I presume that they are going to be good for the particular Natlan characters, right? But we can't always be too sure. So, for a character like Mulani, who's Hydro, why not farm the Nymphs? Why not farm Heart of Depth? Why not go for, that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, that's where you get a lot of value. And then, just in general, right? The Deepwood set and Gilded set are coming to the strong box. Really high value sets, including old sets like Emblem, right? Viridescent Venerer, the Cryo set, right? Blizzard Strayers and whatnot. Crimson Witches and whatnot. Getting your account ready with all those 5-star artifacts will be a benefit to you. Granted, not everybody's gonna have that type of luxury to do that. I understand. You guys might have 300, 500, 700 artifacts, maybe 800, 900, right? But just keep farming, try to build up those resources. That helps. So just make sure that you guys are spending, 10, 20 minutes a day condensing your resin and or using the resin. That's it. If you guys are trying to be diligent about prepping your accounts, that's the least you can do. And as far as preparing artifacts in terms of the 5-star, the gold artifacts, you'll actually want to prepare a slew of them. Well, at least, a couple, 50, maybe 100 at the very minimum, because there is a new system called the Sanctifying Elixir that is tied to a little bit of AFK and a little bit of waiting in order to process them into the actual elixirs, which you will then use to craft artifacts for yourself. But a little bit more on that later in the video. And I only talked about artifacts. I didn't even talk about, you know, talent material. I didn't talk about weapon resources. I didn't talk about trounce domains, right? Early on, right? The very, very early Natlan characters will be using Fontanian trounce domains. Let's be mindful of that and be like, hey, Arlecchino is going to be something that you're really going to want to keep farming for. Mindful, yes, very mindful, very cutesy, very demure. Next, point 2, chat. Feeding off of exploration. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to pick up at least all the oculi from the region. Ooh, that's a good one. Now, this kind of calls myself out for not doing so. Get all the oculi, chat. If you can, the minimum you can do, you don't even have to get all the chests. Get all the oculi, because the oculi will lead into not only just more resources in terms of primogems, but it leads to you doing also exploration and also thus more resources. It's more streamlined if you consider farming within the context of oculi farming. Don't need to go out of your way to do extra crazy puzzles or like random world quests that, you know, spend 30 minutes to get you like 2 primogems and 10 mora. Don't need to do that. Oculi will directly always and also indirectly gain you resources. Always. Some might be harder than others to get, right? But overall, you will get something out and you will get probably the highest return of value. And I did make a note at the beginning of this section, if you guys are complete beginners or are just really, really new to the game, there is a new oculi system within 5.0 that you are now able to actually collect Natlan oculi in substitution with the Mondstadt and Leah oculi. This doesn't mean that you shouldn't be collecting the oculi. However, this does mean that if you are wanting to start to tackle some of the new content, that you don't necessarily have to be bogged down in the earlier regions, and so that you can go straight into Natlan, I believe after they said adventure rank 28. So make sure you guys are mindful of that. And once you guys hit player level or adventure rank 28, then you'll get a notification where you can actually by which teleport to Natlan and start farming there. Me and patiently waiting for Natlan so I can explore once again. Everything's 100%, everything's done. Well, if everything's done, memes, then let's talk about point number 3. Point number 3 is AFK. Making sure that your AFK operations are at maximum operating percentage, whatever. What are the AFK options in Genshin? One that definitely sticks out, and you guys probably already know it, is the Serenity Pot, right? Making sure that your Serenity Pot is max level so you can get max coins. Max coins results in max resource accumulation. Fragmented resin every week. You get your 20 experience books every week. You get extra mora. You can get extra material to build more resources to max out said teapot. That is something extremely, extremely important, because 20 EXP books every week, an average of an extra 50k more every week just through the teapot is extremely valuable. Extremely valuable. What are some other AFK resources? Crystal flies. If you haven't done yet the Fontanian commission quests, do them, because you can open up or unlock the crystal fly trap. And the crystal fly trap every week will give you 15 crystal flies. That saves you time, thus using that time to build up other resources. Because 15 on average is actually pretty good. 15 crystal flies per week, that gets me, you know, through, I would say 6 out of 7 days. Some ideas, chat. What are some other stuff that you can do? Expeditions. Oh, expeditions. You're so right. Every day you can log in for expeditions and max out your mora. You can literally put 5 characters into mora and get like 20k more every day. It's so slept on. And imagine 20k every day, 50k per week on your weeklies for teapot, not only just weeklies, but building into free battle pass. Free battle pass, super slept on too, right? Like right now I'm only level like whatever, so but like 16, right? You get another 16k, you get another 16k, then 32, 32, 32, right? This is good. This is really good. And granted, yes, you honestly ideally should get the battle pass when you start the new region. Man, that's a lot of stuff that you could be grabbing for your new characters. And just as a mini note for most folks, as you guys understand, building characters is, you know, again, requires resources, and those resources are the means to that end. When it comes to more accumulation, you probably need at least minimum, I'd say around 3 million to 5 million, depending to make a character functional. So having that pool of, potentially 5, 10, 15, 20 million Mora heading into a new patch is really, really integral to building not only the 5 stars, but maybe even some of the newer 4 stars that could show up that are quite relevant and that you want to try out for yourselves. With the new tribal commission quest system, you're actually able to level up a character and get their materials to level them up to around 60. But I don't believe they actually give you the Mora for that. I believe they still give you some of the extra regional resources and stuff that you would need, but I'm not terribly sure about the Mora. So understanding that you need Mora, understanding from a previous point that you need artifacts to be able to fodder into some of the new artifacts for these characters is going to be important to set you up for the new patch. And as our last extra point, there is actually going to be a new AFK system, as I mentioned before, with the Sanctifying Elixir. Now, these little elixirs are going to be in tandem combined with this little transmuter of sorts in order to craft artifacts of your choice. You actually get to choose the main stat and 2 substats of that particular artifact, which is amazing. But it requires 4 sanctifying elixirs. One of the ways that you can obtain these elixirs is through a 3-week period of processing 25 or so 5-star artifacts. So making sure that you do have the artifacts from our point 1, and then now this point 3 of making sure your AFK systems are at full and max performance is to the benefit of you down the road being able to make it easier on yourselves to build your characters. And this is this is a more obvious one, but Primogems. Everybody knows Primogems. Everybody wants Primogems. Everybody knows to save up Primogems for a new patch. But what are the best ways to do so? And this is sort of just as a reminder, especially for those who are returning to the game. When it comes to farming primos, there's only a few ways to really do it consistently. And those 2 consistent ways were to either A, do Spilobus, or B, do Imaginarium Theater. Those are our 2 big tickets right now. The 2 big endgame game modes. And they give just under, 15 pulls, chat? They just give under 15 pulls, which is not bad per month. Definitely something that Genshin understands with the increase in amount of characters, right? That is something that you need to compensate for, right? Especially with Fontaine, like there was literally more content, right? To be able to get primos, but I think they also figured out that there is a certain point to where players are playing the game, to where that not every player on average is 100% in the game. So how can we sort of bake in Primogems to a more daily grind? One was the implementation of the weekly commissions, right? Instead of doing weekly commissions for Mora, you just have to level up your artifacts through the weekly battle pass system, which is really good. I love that change. And again, I just talked about that earlier, but I love the change. That's another way to get primos. And then when it comes to farming, make sure that you guys are doing all your Primogem farming stuff. Max out Spilobus. I don't care. What am I, Canadian? I don't care if you can't complete it. Just do as much as you can, because those are primos that you are missing out, and that'll lead you to 100, 200. After a month, it'll lead you to 1,000, 2,000. That's another 10, 20 pulls that you could be saving for a character of your choice 3 months, 6 months down the line. And after 3 months, 6 months, maybe you're trying to go for Mavuika. Maybe you're trying to go for Capitano. Maybe you're trying to go for Colombina with asterisks. You need those pulls. And do yourself a favor by farming them now, and then subsequently down the road you will have those resources. Last but not least, what was my 5th point? My 5th point. Now this one is a little bit outside of Genshin itself, chat. It's storage. And making sure that your device, either computer or phone, mobile device, or your PlayStation, I'm pretty sure PlayStation can handle it, but making sure that your device is able to store it. You will be surprised with how big Natlan is. Natlan's first sectional region is massive. People are speculating it to be Sumeru sized, okay? So please, for the love of God, if you need to get a new device, turn in your old device, find a way to get some reimbursement, try to find some discounts for a larger storage, okay, for your device. If you're a PC, get a larger SSD card, get a larger HDD card. Please make sure you guys have extra storage so that you guys aren't caught off guard with 60 gigabits of extra storage needed to open up or to download Natlan. And hey, if you guys found these 5 points helpful, please make sure to subscribe, as we're going to give you guys more tips and tricks to get ready for Natlan. Make sure you guys are subbed to the channel. We cover a lot of Genshin and Zenless Zone Zero content. Like the video, comment down below what you guys found most helpful, and let's see you in the next video. Click on here because YouTube thinks I like this next one. All right, folks, thanks so much for joining. Jshoea out.